Hey, welcome back to Jasmine Figures It Out. And right now, I'm going to try as briefly as possible to go through the two student loan forgiveness programs that I used to get my student loans completely discharged. All right, so there are two avenues to complete and total discharge of your student loans, and I was able to successfully have my loans discharged through both of them. They both literally sent me letters discharging the $111,000 I owed for my student loans. It happened faster with the public student loans forgiveness program, so they were removed with them first, and now off my credit report. So the two are the borrower's defense and the public service student loan forgiveness program. Now, for both of these, you do have to qualify. You have to fit their criteria. And so pay very close attention because you may qualify through one avenue and not the other, or you may, like me, qualify through both avenues. Before I get into this, I'm going to start with the borrower's defense program. And I want to just lay the groundwork for this is that my student loans were consolidated. I had student loans with different schools, different times in my life, different programs, different types of loans, and I had them all consolidated into federal direct student loans. So that's important because through borrower's defense, it depends on the schools you went to that you got your student loans at. But if you have your loans consolidated, it's hard for them to tell how much you got from this school because they're all now consolidated into one loan. At least that's what happened with me. So, like I said, the borrower's defense program, and this is straight from their site. Who should complete this is anyone who attended a school that they believe misled them or engaged in other misconduct, can demonstrate that school violated the state law to your loan or to the educational services provided. It takes about 30 minutes to complete the application. I think it took me about 20. You can do it completely web based online, or you can download the PDF and mail it in. You're going to need your FAFSA ID and password to do this. You're going to need the names of your school, the enrollment dates, and it says here documentation to support why you believe you qualify for borrower's defense. I did not submit any documentation. You'll see on the next slide, I just happened to have gone to one of the schools, and that was the last school I went to before I consolidated my loans. So here's the list of schools. I'm going to leave this up here. Take a picture, scan for yours. They're in alphabetical order. Now, like I said, I consolidated my student loans. So the last school I went to was Capella. So this is what I think happened. I think because the last school I went to was Capella, that's what was showing up on with the student loan servicer. So they just discharged them all. Capella probably was not even a fourth of that. But at least I don't know. Maybe they saw something I didn't see and it was a large amount of that. The student loans things really confused me. I honestly don't even know how I got to 100,000 to be truthful. So that's what happened with me. And I just make that point to say it's helpful to make sure your student loans are consolidated before doing these two programs. The other thing I want to say is that I believe that I did not need to submit any documentation because my school is on one of these lists where they've already proven to have violated the practices. And so I didn't need to supply documentation. Also, I want to say that you're not limited to these schools. If you do have documentation that you are misled, it's still worth it to complete the 20-minute application and provide your documentation and see what happens. The other thing I want to say that I have found when working with other people trying to help them navigate this is that your school may not be on this list, but your school could have a parent school that is on this list. And if your school has a parent school on this list, then you will qualify like just as if you were on the list yourself. So if you are not sure, then just do a Google search to see if your school has a parent school associated with them. And here is how to apply. So I'm going to leave this up here for a second so you can take a picture, write down this web address, or just scan the QR code. It'll take you right to the application. Or is that distracting? Sorry. Okay, I'll be quiet. My ADHD might not let me be quiet though. All right, that's long enough. All right, so the next one we have here public service student loan forgiveness. Okay, now this one is a biggie to me, personally to me, because it's so easy if you qualify through your employer. If you are employed by a federal, state, local, or tribal government or nonprofit organization, which that's a lot of people, social workers, teachers, law enforcement officers, even if you are contracted, say you are you do the cleaning for a state building, you still may qualify. So if you have one of these types of jobs, then you're eligible for public service student loan public service loan forgiveness program. So the PSLF um, program forgives the remaining balance on your direct loans. You're consolidated into direct loans. That's important. Consolidate your loans into direct loans first. After you've made 120 qualifying monthly payments under the repayment plan while working full time for a qualifying employer. 120 payments is 10 years of payments. After 10 years of payments, your student loans are forgiven. Now, this is important because under this program, you have to make the full payment every month. You cannot be late. You have to have been, you have to be full-time working for the qualified employer. They did not count past employers. However, during COVID, they offered a limited time PSLF waiver that counted all types of payments after the time of October 1st, 2007 up to October 31st of last year, 2022. Filling out the waiver form, you were able to get retroactive credit towards your PSLF program for all payments under any plan. You could have been under a direct plan, you could have been in forbearance, you could have been paying zero. Even if you were under an IDR plan paying zero, those payments count. You could have been paying $1. You could have been making partial payments. You could have been late. All of those payments counted. That actually goes into my next slide. This waiver gave you 3 years of, I believe, about 3 years of credit for your forbearance. So it counted the months during the COVID forbearance. For me, when I heard about this program, I thought if it counts partial payments up until October 31st, I'm going to make $1 payment every other week. And if it doesn't mean I have to pay every month on time, that's going to count my payments. I did that personally. I don't know if that made a big difference for me, but mine were all forgiven, my dollar payments. But the point is that I've worked for my company for over 10 years, and it counted even months of forbearance, which ultimately got me forgiven. This is huge for a lot of people, because this is how people may have not even barely paid anything on their student loans, and they were able to have their student loans forgiven. Why is this important now? Because there's still an opportunity for people who missed the waiver last year through the one-time payment adjustment that's going on right now. I just want to slow down because I'm begging people right now here. I'm begging people to pay attention to this. Right now, if you missed the buck last year, you can catch the buck this year. So, breaking news. The limited PSLF waiver ended October 31st, 2022. However, you can read here yourself. I'm not going to read this out loud. My eyes aren't that good. But basically, what this is saying is that there will be a one time account adjustment this year. Before the end of the year, they're going through accounts now. If you're already enrolled in PSLF, there will be a one time account adjustment that is basically honoring a lot of the advantages that were in place during the waiver. So during the waiver, all those things that they were counting during that short window of time that a lot of people missed are going to be counted now during the one-time account adjustment, as long as you're already in the PSLF program. So the point is, get your stuff in so that you can get the adjustment, because they're only going to be doing this up until the end of the year. As of right now, it could change, but as of right now, and who wants to leave that to chance? So right here it also says more than 3.6 million loans have been forgiven because of the waiver program, and now they're still doing this with more people who didn't get in on that. So be one of the millions. Don't be one of the millions who didn't, or whatever amount doesn't. All right, here's a here is the website to go apply. Now, you can do a screenshot. You can write this down, or you could just use your phone if you're watching this on TV and pull up the QR code. It's going to take you right to it. You need your FAFSA ID and password to get in, and all you need is to know when you were employed. Oh, another important thing that they count. Some people, they like were teachers like way back in the day, and they're no longer like working in that type of governmental agency. It counted. So even if you got out of it, it counted. So that's why it's important, because those people who are no longer able to be on PSLF, they can still get credit through this. So go ahead and take this information, write down this website, take your screenshot or pull this up. All you need is the dates of employment. And if you have like a W-2 form, you're going to need the EIN for the company you worked with. You're just going to pull up, it's going to say add employer. You're going to pull it up through using the EIN. If your company qualifies, it'll come up. You put it there, you identify it, you go to the next screen. The next screen is going to tell you whether or not you qualified. If you're qualifying for this program, it'll give you an area where you put in your supervisor's email. Call your supervisor, tell them, hey, you're going to get this email. You probably already got it. Fill it out now. All you got to do is electronically sign it. It goes straight to the studentaid.gov, and then once they get it, they look everything over and they transfer your student loans to Mohila. If your student loans are not with Mohila, you're not on PSLF. Mohila is the only servicer that processes PSLF. So once you've done that, it literally can happen in 5 minutes. Like, it's so easy to fill it out, and since it's electronic, as soon as your supervisor electronically signs, they get it. They transfer your loans. You're going to get a letter in the mail. For me, I got a letter in the mail that said I only had 30 qualifying payments out of my 120. And then a month later, I got another letter that said, my loans are gone. I've satisfied it. I've actually made 67 payments over the amount. So I don't know if they're giving me a refund for all my little $1 that I paid, but I may be getting a refund. So you don't get discouraged if you get a letter that says you only made 12 payments, you have this amount left. You may be getting another letter. That's that one-time adjustment. So that's what you do. And if you have any questions and you're waiting to hear something, you didn't hear anything, because if you did everything right, you will get a letter relatively quickly now that everything is automated through Mohila, because I just helped someone with this. and it took like less than 2 weeks before they got a letter from Mohila saying that they got their loans, that they are counting up their payments. So it should happen really quick. And if you need to check up on it, then these are the phone numbers that you would call. Take a picture of this page, and if you don't get anyone with that bottom phone number, I just kept calling the first one, because the bottom one is really automated and I like wanted to talk to somebody. So that's the information. Let me know if there's any questions you have that I didn't cover in this video. I may do another one, just to make sure that I'm getting all the information there. And I hope everyone has a great day. Bye.